ABC Kinderteach presents an interactive version of It's Raining, It's Pouring by Ken Eagle, illustrated by Rob Gilbert. There's a nursery rhyme that's called It's Raining, It's Pouring, and it goes like this. It's raining, it's pouring, the old man is snoring. He bumped his head when he went to bed and couldn't get up in the morning. It's raining, it's pouring, the old man is snoring. Now, when they say it's pouring, that means it's raining a lot. Not just like a sprinkle, but like really a hard rain when they say it's pouring. And look at their room. They have a big bucket, they have some milk jugs, they have pans, even a goldfish bowl that's catching all the water that's leaking into their house. You know what that means? That means that they probably have a roof that needs to be fixed because it's leaking really badly. And even on the cat who's hiding under the bed. But they're sleeping and he's snoring, which means he's going like a shoo, shoo. So he's probably snoring like that. He bumped his head when he went to bed and couldn't get up in the morning. And look at his bed is floating down this water, this little creek, and he's still sleeping. And his wife was drinking a cup of coffee, and the water filled up the cabin that they're living in, their house, and it's leaking out the windows, and looks like the walls are about ready to break right there, and all this water comes rushing out. Ooh, look at the cat. It's hanging onto this chair like, oh, don't let me get wet. So very interesting. And I want you to see something else. This little creek, it's in the front of the house. And it may not be that way in the rest of the story. We'll have to see. Look at, now the creek is in the back of the house. It's cloudy. It's breezy. The old man is sneezy. So when you say breezy, that just means the wind is blowing. Not really hard, but fairly hard. So breezy means fairly hard wind blowing. And the sneezy looks like he's getting ready to sneeze. And what's the cat looking at? The cat's just looking out there in the yard. He blew so hard that he moved the stars. But of course, that wasn't easy. Now we know you can't blow so hard you move the stars. And look at the cow and the truck. They think that he blew so hard that he blew those things around and even moved the stars. Now that would be really difficult to do. Actually, it's not probably possible to do. It's snowing. It's blowing. The old man is growing. Growing what? Growing tomatoes? What's he growing? Huh. Oh, look at the cats looking out the window. Let's go see what he's growing. He ate so much one day for lunch, every part of him was showing. So that means he's gaining weight. He's getting heavier. That's what they say, growing. He's eating too much. And look at what he's been eating. He's been eating gingerbread cookies, a piece of pie, some peas, a sandwich. It looks like an apple, a big milkshake type ice cream, and he's eaten so much. Look at what happened to his chair. It broke right there, and he's falling backwards. And look at his shirt. It's so tight that you can see his belly sticking out because he's been eating so much. And nope, there's a piece of pie up there too. It's warm out and sunny. The old man loves honey. Ooh, let's see now. What do you think is going to happen? He has this ladder, and he says that he likes honey, and there's a beehive that has honey in it. Ooh, I hope he does not climb up there and try to get some of the honey out. That's probably not a good idea. He might get stung. Well, we'll see if he does. He tried to seize, which means grab, a batch from the bees, and they didn't find it funny. Oh, look at the ladder's falling down. The bees are all chasing him. We were right. He should not have messed with those bees. It's cool, damp, and chilly. The old man's name is Willie. So that is Willie. And this is an old well, and what they would do is they take this rope and they kind of let it loose, and then it would fall into the well, and then there'd be water at the bottom, and then they would crank it back up, pull it back up, and then that's where they got their water. They did not really have a place where you could just turn on your sink faucet and get some water. They had to go out into this big hole in the ground. He tripped and fell in a big old well, and there's water down there at the bottom. Oh my gosh, did he look silly? And the cat's looking like, uh-oh, he's down there, but I'm not going to go down there because it's wet. It almost looks like the rope might be breaking too. See how thin it is right there? And that's what a real well might look like. What they do is they just kind of dig it out, and in this case what they're doing is they dig up the dirt and then they put it in a bucket, and somebody pulls it out, and they give them the bucket back and they fill it up some more. And if you keep filling it up, at some point hopefully you'll run into water and it will fill up the well. And here's an example of what a real well would look like if after it was finished. It's gusty, it's windy. The old man's wife is Cindy. So when we talk about gusty and windy, gusty is like it's like whoosh, blows wind. The wind blows, and then it maybe slows down, and then it blows again, and then it slows down, and then it blows again, and then it slows down. So gusty is kind of windy, not windy, windy, not windy, windy, not windy. You get the idea. With ants in their pants, they started to dance and ended up doing the Lindy. Oh, what in the world is the Lindy? Well, guess what? I am going to show you some people doing the real dance called the Lindy. And there they are. A lot of pretty fancy dancing. It looks like a lot of fun, doesn't it? Whatever the season, and the season would be the time of year like spring, summer, fall, winter, cloudy, sunny, breezing. If he gets to bed without bumping his head, then the old man thinks it's pleasing. So when they say it's breezing, breezy just means a light wind, like just you can kind of feel it, just a little bit of air blowing over you, but not a lot, just a light amount of wind blowing over you. And if you wanted to sing more about It's Raining, It's Pouring, here are some verses.